My name is Nikki. I'm the community education coordinator here at the North Carolina Zoo. And so I was going into a little bit of housekeeping rules. So you guys are muted, but I'm glad that you are learning that you can talk to us. Absolutely. So we want your questions, and I'm going to be asking you guys lots of questions. So I hope you guys are ready to answer. If you have a question for me or our team of smart people out there that are helping me, put that in the question and answer box, the Q&A box. If you're answering my questions, put that in the chat box, and we'll be able to hopefully respond and talk back and forth to each other for this very fun program. So were you kind of sad and disappointed that they had to postpone the Olympics this summer? I was too. So that's why we're bringing the Olympics to you, kind of. But we're doing Animal Olympics because animals are amazing athletes. As a matter of fact, I bet you if we put some animals in some of the Olympic games, they would smoke us. We would never get a gold. They would win the gold medal all the time. So there's some pretty cool animals out there and pretty awesome animal athletes out there. So I'm gonna get ready for our first Winter Olympics. Let me get ready. Sorry, guys. Ooh, let's see. Get ready. Okay. Get ready. We gotta get ready for it. You guys getting ready? Okay. Oh, I'm not done yet. Here we go. All right. There we go. Now I'm toasty. Get it? We're going to the Winter Olympics this year, guy. All right, but I won't wear this the whole time. That looks silly. So yeah, that's right. Let's go to the Winter Olympics, guys. So our first event, this event, it's called, I'm hot, so I can't be able to wear this for the whole Winter Olympics. It is called the luge. Have you guys ever heard of the luge? If you haven't, it's kind of fun. Basically, it's a big ice slide.
Oh,
so you go down fast.
Somebody says ice age, but probably a slide, yeah.
Nice, awesome. If you see me looking over there, I can see the questions and some chat and stuff like that. So we're trying to respond to both things here. So, right, so what animal do you think is really good at sliding on ice? Let's see if we get any answers.
Penguin, Shari says penguins. Ooh, penguin.
Nice.
Oh, so like seals.
Seals, good. Yep, absolutely. Well, I'll bet Beth, if you can show us, and polar bears, yep. Beth, if you can show us our Olympic champion on this one. You are right. Nice. It is our penguin. The penguins are fast, so they're kind of awkward on land. They're built for swimming in water. So they're not great on land. So they kind of waddle and they go slow. They probably walk maybe 2 miles an hour. But if they've noticed if there's a hill going down, it's much easier to just plop on your belly and slide down in order to get going faster, get to where you need to go faster. So that's why they slide on their bellies on the snow. Yes.
So I have a question. If you don't know the answer, I actually do know the answer to this. So how many species of penguins are there? Do you know the answer to that question?
Oh,
I do.
Well, good, because I know, was it 30 something?
No, it's about 17 or 18 specific species. There are subspecies.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad Leslie, my penguin expert, was here.
I used to work in an aquarium and talk about penguins.
Nice. I work with puffins, so I didn't do penguins. So that's our first winter event. So now penguins aren't quite as fast as the real luge. For the athletes, they're actually going about 87 miles an hour. It's pretty fast. I don't think a penguin's quite going that fast, but kind of cool. And technically, I just learned this. This is kind of cool. It wouldn't be a luge. It would be called the skeleton, which I had never heard of this event before. Because a luge, they go down feet first. In a skeleton, they go down head first. So I guess technically it would be a skeleton event that they would be the gold at, win the gold at. All right, our next event, cross-country skiing, right? You guys don't know, I grew up in New York, so I'm well aware of what cross-country skiing is. So they actually taught it in gym class where I grew up, which is kind of fun. I remember doing it in high school, and that was awesome. So what animal do you think is really good at traveling long distances over snow and ice? We're talking about 3,000.
We're New Yorkers too.
Yay! Woohoo! Shout out to New York.
Kiki and Shane and
Nice.
Bailey. A lot of people, some people saying caribou as well. So yeah, polar bear, most of our reindeer.
Oh,
Ooh,
nice.
wolves.
All right,
Yeah.
Beth, let's show our winner of this Olympic event. It is, woohoo, you got it right. If you said reindeer or caribou, you were rightish.
Great.
So they actually walk over 3,000 miles every year. So that would be kind of like you guys walking from Maine all the way across the country to Washington State and doing that every year. That's crazy, right? And they have pretty cool feet to be able to do it. So I said if you said caribou or reindeer, I guess it depends on where you're from. So they're the same animal, but what you call them. So if you're from Europe or Asia, they're reindeer. If you're from North America, they're called caribou. But if you're North America and your caribou are in a fence, they're called reindeer. It's crazy things to come up with. But anyways, to help them walk all those miles, they have very cool feet. I'm gonna zoom in, see if we can get close. Can you see it? So this is a footprint of a reindeer. So it's big. So I have big hands, guys. I don't have small hands. So it's almost as big as my hand. Reindeer aren't huge animals. So they're about deer sized, maybe a little bit stockier. But so they have these wide feet. So they're really spread out. So when they step on the ice, their toes actually spread out. And so you can kind of see that the wider your foot is, the more less you're gonna sink in the snow, kind of like a snowshoe. Beth, if you want to show us our next picture, in case you don't know what a snowshoe looks like, this is what we have to use and put on our feet so we don't sink in the snow.
So quick question as that's coming up.
Yes.
What do reindeer and caribou eat?
Oh, good question. So that's the snowshoe, guys. So reindeer and caribou, they also have specialized feet. They look like, they call it shovels, almost like, and that's kind of where their name actually comes from, the caribou. And they actually dig under the snow for grasses and lichen, which is a kind of a plant type animal, or plant type animal. No, a plant, the type of plant. So they actually dig under the snow to be able to get that. So they have these specialized kind of feet for digging, and then of course for walking on. So that spreads out their feet and it distributes their weight on the snow, kind of like that snowshoe does, and so that they don't sink in when they're walking across snow. Pretty awesome. And of course they have fuzzy toes. So they have hair in there. So that way snow and ice doesn't get caught up in there and freeze their feet. So very cool adaptations for walking all that way.
All right, we have a question. Ray Kids asks, are caribou rare?
Not right now, but they are kind of getting on the brink. So they are going, they're having some issues because with a lot of animals, they're losing their habitat. Some of it's being impacted by climate change, like that. So they're okay right now, but something to keep an eye on. Good questions, guys.
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready for our next event? Okay. This one, we're going to the ice skating. That was always my favorite Winter Olympic event. Now, this animal's not going to do a triple Lutz or pirouette or whatever it is, whatever those skaters do like that. But they're pretty good at living and walking around on ice. So can you think of an animal that spends most of its time on ice?
We're getting otter and seal and polar bear. Those seem to be kind of our three.
Nice.
Polar bear, still some more otters.
Awesome. All right, Beth, let's see if they were right. Let's bring up that next picture. Let's see. Right, there are a lot of animals that live on ice.
Yeah.
But this guy takes the gold medal. You're right. The polar bear. Awesome. See, I gave them gold medals. And just like that, reindeer or caribou, they have specialized feet. Again, guys, I have big hands. I don't even come close to this guy. So this is the back foot of a polar bear. You see that? That is huge. This is the front foot of a polar bear. Again, massive. And so just like what was that last picture? Before we went to the polar bear, what was the picture you just saw? What was that thing? What would this act like? What would these feet act like? What do you guys think? Remember that picture? Snowshoe. Nice.
Sorry.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sorry if I said your name wrong.
Sometimes you never know what's going to come up. Right. So those act like giant snowshoes for spreading out the weight. But what else? Let's look at this foot. What else do you think they have that's going to let them hold? There's actually 3 different ways, 3 different things I can see on this foot that lets them grab onto the ice and walk across ice. What do you guys think?
Oh yeah, everybody's saying claws.
Absolutely.
Thanks for going by so fast.
Fur, I saw fur.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so fur. Anything else? What's this? The pads, right? Nice job, guys, for gripping, right? So they have those sharp claws, right, for grabbing on the ice. Hairy feet. Good thing we don't have hairy hands, do we?
Quick question for that. Mary asked, sees that they have hairy feet, but do their feet ever get cold?
Not really, because they are very well adapted. They're very thick fur there. Polar bears actually, their biggest problem is getting too warm because they're so good at staying cold or staying warm. They have all that fur and blubber. And so a lot of times that's why polar bears tend to kind of lope and walk slowly. They don't run very often because if they run, they can actually overheat. So they are actually very well adapted for staying warm and sometimes a little too warm. So they're more worried about overheating than they are staying warm. So it's pretty awesome, right? Hope I answered that question for you.
I do have another quick question because you were talking about how having those big feet help distribute their weight. So how heavy are actually polar bears? Amy Crouch wanted to know.
Oh, good question. Well, they can range anywhere from 500 pounds to over 1,000. I think our male Nikita here has been weighed at 1,200 pounds. He's a big boy. Yeah. And I'm sure there's some that are even bigger than that. So they got a wide range. So the girls tend to be a little bit smaller. So Anana, she's usually around 600-ish pounds, somewhere in there. So their weight fluctuates throughout the year. So yeah, so they have a wide range of weights. So yeah, bigger, obviously the bigger males, when you come and see Nikita, he's massive. I mean, they're just massive. So, because he's a bigger boy. All right, so we're gonna go on. Step off screen for a second. To the Summer Olympics, guys. You ready? I'm not putting a bathing suit on. No way. So we're in the Summer Olympics, and our first animals. Give me live. So we're having big. As you can see, that's a small container. Which animal? Our event is going to be wrestling. Okay. What animals do you think are good wrestlers? Again, answers.
We say a lot of us are saying bears.
Yeah.
We got beetles, lions, bears, monkeys, tigers.
You guys are on it.
Kangaroos, rhinos, snakes.
All the above, guys.
Mantis.
Absolutely. I'm thinking about animals. Some animals have.
We had spider.
Right. Nice.
Antelope.
Antelope. So some animals have these cool things. You know what this is? It's pretty big. Oh, let me see. Here we go. So you can get the full.
Antlers. Got Kaufman. Somebody even said from an elk. Bethany from an elk.
Nice job. This is an elk antler.
Yeah,
and it is an antler. And it's not a horn. So there's a difference. So this friend, our friend here, he uses it kind of like the antlers. He's got horns. The antlers fall off, they lose theirs. Horns stay on their whole life. So his horns, he uses those in a different way. But it's kind of similar way. Let's see. Our friends, our wrestlers are small. But good thing for you guys, we have a really cool tool in this room that we can show things up close. That's why that picture, you see the TV screen? There we go. Coming in. Coming at you guys. That's a little creepy, isn't it? But kind of cool, huh? So this is, I mean, what these guys are? Like, you see cockroaches. They're a little bit, yeah. That's a good observation.
Yeah.
Not roaches, right? these are Madagascar hissing cockroaches. And I call them the wrestlers because if you look, I have two. I have a boy and a girl. So the boy is this one over here. Oop, I just made you guys dizzy, didn't I? So he's the one in this hand. I'll put the girl down. And he's got something. I'll see if you guys can notice a difference between the boy and the girl. What does the boy have that the girl does not? You guys see that?
Horns, Griffin, Katie, Shari.
Nice job.
Nice.
Right, so the boys have horns. So they have these kind of little, they're not truly horns, but they're little kind of like knobs on the top of their exoskeleton, right? Fancy science word. So, and they use that. So when they see other males in their territory and there's a girl around, they use that to try to fight with each other and try to flip over the boy onto his back and wrestle him and flip him over on his back, all to look good for who? Right. Look good for the ladies, right? So get a little bit close to you.
So we did have a question to, no, you're fine if you needed to move over there. It was, Mary asked, what are kind of the spiky things that are pointing out on their face, I think.
Oh, good thing. You thought the long things?
That's what I'm thinking, but maybe she was talking about the horns, but why don't we say what the long things are as well?
Okay. I'm going to put the feeler back because I need another hand.
Okay.
So, she doesn't want to come up. I like you too.
Oh, so some people are answering it already. So Sig Fam and Griffin are saying antennas.
Nice.
Ganesh asked if they are real.
They are very real. Mm-hmm. So if you look here, I don't know if you'll be able to see it very well there. Are you going to bring it in?
I'm coming in.
All right, Leslie's coming in. We had to learn, we can't zoom and zoom, so we have to physically bring the camera in. And this is his antenna. And there's all my fingerprints, kind of creepy looking. Let's see if I get a little more focused. And you can see he's got kind of hairs on his antenna. It's kind of cool, isn't it? We're fascinated with this microscope. We're using every chance we can. So you can get a good look at his horns. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more. Focus. Look at how big they are. That's cool. And then this is probably my favorite. Look at those legs. That's crazy. So why do you think they have such spiky legs? So neither of us can see chat right now. So I'm assuming you guys know.
I can see some of it. So Shane, Katie, grip, climbing, attack, for defense. Donald said that. Protection, Stephanie.
Yeah, nice.
Couple people are grossed out.
I find this stuff cool. Yeah. So close up, right. So this, a lot of times it's for grabbing onto things. So sometimes, if you notice, I was trying to get the girl off and she was kind of attached to my hand. So I wasn't holding her, she was holding on to me. So it's how they grip things too, especially that foot. You can see those little toes there. And then we're called hissing cockroaches for a reason. So those little dots you see on their backs, or abdomens are called, those are, I call them the bug lungs. Or, fancy fun word, science word that's fun, called spiracles. Just a fun word to say, spiracles. So those little black dots, those big dots. Let me get my finger in here to point them out. It's hard to see. There it is. My nails are creepy. So those black dots, those are kind of like the bug lungs. So they force air out through those holes, making that hissing noise. That you guys can try that at home. Kind of close your teeth and then force air through those teeth. Go kind of like a snake, right? Okay.
So we have a couple of questions. I'm going to move back.
Okay. I'll hang on to my friend George.
So a bunch of people are asking, like Ray Kids and Kay Vantas, we're asking what they eat.
Oh, very good question. So cockroaches get a bad rap. A lot of people don't like cockroaches because they think they're a pest. These guys actually have a good job. They're actually not pests. Well, they don't come into your home, so you don't have to worry about these giant things coming into your house. They're from Madagascar, remember? But they are important job. They have a very important job. They're called the recyclers of the world, or detritivores, which means they may know what a detritivore eats. If you eat detritus, there's a big fancy word for, see if we got anybody knows it. Now, there's a little bit of lag time between what you used here.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, yeah?
LAKF913 says garbage.
Yeah, well, I guess we
Day
can't
of
see it.
shower. Sorry if I'm saying names wrong. They eat dead stuff. Bethany says rotting plants.
Nice. You got it.
Waste.
Yep.
Robin says waste.
Absolutely. So all those dead plants, the leaves and stuff that fall off trees that land on the ground, they're eating that up. And it's an important job because what they're doing is they eat those plants, it goes through their digestive system, and then they poop out lots of soil. So nutrients that go back in the soil so more plants can grow. So I like to say they're recycling the world one poop at a time. So yeah.
Whitney says they help with decomposition.
Nice. Absolutely. Cleaning up the world for us. So recyclers of the planet. All right. I forgot to put the lid on. So luckily she didn't climb out.
All right. I like this answer or this question. So AKA Firestar says, do they have a really bad smell?
Honestly, I don't think I've ever smelled them. I've never noticed a strong, only when I've gotten them, the only smell I smell is usually the rotting fruits and vegetables that they love to eat. So that their keepers give them that kind of stuff, that good rotting stuff that they like to eat. So that's really the only thing that has a smell. They don't really. I don't think they do. Do you, Leslie?
I don't think they do either. No.
I've never noticed an odor on them.
They smell just fine.
Yep.
They smell like dirt.
Yeah. Yeah. They smell like nature.
Yeah.
That's right. All right. We're going to go on to our next event. Our next event, archery. Let's see. Who do you think would win the gold medal for archery? If you guys know what archery is, it's where you have the bow and the arrow and you shoot at a target. Let's see if we got anybody that knows what animal is really good.
Oh, archer fish.
Nice. All right, Beth.
Skunk, mother archerfish, monkey, porcupine, spider.
There they go. Nice. This is a pretty cool, guys. So these guys can spit with enough force to knock an insect off a leaf or a branch almost 5 feet away. That's crazy, because that's be like me being able to spit at something and hit it and knock it off the top of a telephone pole. That's crazy. I don't think having spit is that strong.
That is amazing.
So yeah. So all right, Beth, if you can go back to me. So our archer fish, amazing. So not only do they have to have strong spitting abilities to be able to shoot that very far and very hard, they know more about physics than I do, guys.
I do have a quick question. Yeah. So Lacey wanted to know, what do they actually spit out?
Water.
Water.
Yeah. Okay. So they suck in water, and then they pucker up, and they have to put the tongue in the roof of their mouth, and they shoot it out. And their head is under the water. So think about this, guys. Have you guys ever been underwater? You put something in water and you notice it looks a little different? Like, I don't know if you guys can see it. That show up on the straw. Can you see it? It kind of bends a little bit, like that. I'll go a little bit closer.
Yeah, come a little closer.
There we go.
Right there.
Right there?
Yeah.
All right. So you can see it bends. So imagine you're the archer fish. You're looking up under the water. Your insect is here, but they're seeing it here due to that refraction of the water, that light refraction there. And so they have to take that in account. And they have to take into account gravities. Because you guys ever thrown a ball? Does it just keep going straight, or does it eventually it arcs and goes down, right? Because the gravity pulls it down. So they have to take all these things into consideration. And so they know more about physics than I do. And I took 2 semesters of physics in college, guys. So it's pretty amazing. Yeah.
We had a question, though it went away, but I do remember the question. So sorry, I can't say who asked it. But somebody did ask if they use that spitting for protection.
They use it for catching food. So they're hitting bugs. So they see the bug, they shoot the water at the bug, they hits it with enough force, it knocks it off and into the water, and they gulp it up. And they come up and grab it quickly. So they're literally shooting, like I like to call it death by super soaker. So they shoot the bug and knock it into the water so they can eat it. Sorry, I didn't get into that. So that's pretty cool, huh? So animals are really cool. All right, our next event, guys, we're still in the water. This time we're going into the diving. And I'm not talking about diving from a board, but I mean diving underwater. How far? Who do you think holds the record for diving the deepest? What animal do you think is our gold medal winner?
Dolphin. Amy says sperm whale. We have octopuses, more sperm whales,
Right.
dolphins.
I should say a mammal.
Dolphin, hippo, shark, seal.
Yeah. All right. Nice. Yeah. So I'm going for a mammal. So you guys are close. Sperm whale, dolphins, absolutely. Well, Beth, will you bring up our gold medal winner for us for diving? Nice. I don't know if I'm saying this right. I'm saying it. Cuvier's beaked whale.
Cuvier, yeah.
Did I get it right?
Yeah.
I'm not French, so I don't know. You're my penguin and dolphin expert. So Cuvier's beaked whale. Probably most people haven't even heard of these guys, but they're pretty neat looking. But they have been studied and they have been seen going almost 2 miles deep under the water. And let's see. All right. I'm going to time you guys. Okay. We're going to see how long we can hold our breath. Okay. Ready, set, let's see, make sure I have it right, and go. Trying to do it laugh. I made it 13 seconds. I'm not good. I would never win a gold medal in that. I hope you guys did better. I definitely would not be able to stay underwater. Anybody else? Well, who else did it?
Just stopped.
Nice. Right. Absolutely. Oh, well, they can actually hold their breath for almost 2 hours, guys. Yeah, no. The longest a human can do it is about 22 minutes. So not even close. So pretty amazing.
So we have 2 questions.
Yes.
And I can help you with these if you need help. I don't think you do because you're amazing, but we support each other. So are they in the dolphin family or the whale family?
They're a beaked whale, which is a kind of their own, so they're a little bit different, right? You get that right? So they're not really dolphins, but they're.
It's kind of like, so yeah, they're beaked whales, they're toothed whales.
Yes, that's it, right, yeah.
So they are in the whale family, but they're not exactly dolphins. Not all whales are dolphins, but all dolphins are whales.
Right.
There you go.
So she is my whaler. Her favorite animal is a narwhal, so she knows all about our ocean friends. But what's really cool, so when you guys are holding your breath, you took a deep, I know when I did, you take a deep breath in and you hold it, right? They do the opposite. They actually push out all the air out of their lungs before they dive, which doesn't seem like, well, how are they going to get oxygen? Because if you think about it, they are going 2 miles deep. And I don't know if you know, if you have 2 miles of water pressing on you, that's a lot of air pressure. And so if you guys have ever dove, can't talk today, gone in the deep end of the pool, gone underwater or scuba diving or anything like that, you have to kind of, your ears and your sinuses and all your head starts to kind of, you feel a little bit of pain in there. And so you have to kind of regulate and push the air back in there. And so that's kind of how they do it. So they don't want those air spaces in there. And so they get their oxygen because they can store oxygen in their blood. They have extra kind of red blood cells and their muscles too. So a couple of things they can do to kind of store oxygen so they can still breathe. And they just go slow down. They don't go really fast. And they go, and they can kind of, the heart rate can go down. They can stop blood going to their fins or tails, and they keep it at the heart and the brain and the things they really need. So a lot of cool things going on so they can dive deep. All right.
Yes. Quick question. Angela said, I've never heard of this whale. Are they endangered?
I do believe so. Are they critically?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. But yeah, I do remember reading that they are endangered.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, like a lot of whale species. All right, so that's diving. All right, let's go to track and fields. The 100-meter dash. I think this is an easy one. What animal is going to win the 100-meter dash?
Cheetah!
I see it. All right, Beth. Let's bring up our next one.
Steve's favorite animal.
Yep, absolutely. There's a cheetah. Nice.
Great job, everybody.
And that's pretty cool. So I put that purposely so you can see how far they stretch out. Their spine is very flexible. I like to think of it like a slinky. And they stretch out really long, and then they'll bring their legs back together. All right, Beth, come on back to me. All right, so this is a slinky. So as they run, they take that one long stride, their kind of spine stretches up, and as they close in, it kind of gets a little bit, so very flexible spine to allow them to do that. And so they can run about 60 to 70 miles per hour. Human, about 28. So not even close. We didn't stand a chance. But what I want you to do, what's really cool is because they're running so fast, their stride, which means when you're running, you're, it's kind of hard, you can't see my legs, is how far you're kind of stepping, kind of thing. This table behind me is 6 feet. I'm not even come close to that. Of course, I'm not running either, but even if I were, I wouldn't even come close. Their stride from front foot to back, so when their back foot leaves the ground, so their front feet touches the ground, is about 20 to 22 feet. So this table right here, like I said, is 6 feet long. So that would be like 3 of these tables plus a little bit more. That's a huge stride. So later after this program, get his tape measure out, put it down on the ground. You can measure out 20 to 22 feet. And then you kind of try to see how big your stride is and see if you can go that far. Probably not. That's why they win the gold medal and we don't.
Quick questions.
Yes.
Paxton and Mary asked, where do cheetahs live?
They are in Africa, the African grasslands, I guess you could call it, plains, kind of real. Not sure exactly what countries. But yeah, all right. Good question. Got any other questions?
So we did have one question and it went away.
Steve probably answered it.
But I wanted
cheetahs.
to answer just because I thought it was a really great question, and it was, well, but aren't peregrine falcons faster than cheetahs?
Oh, good question. Right. So running, cheetah would win, but diving in the air, yeah, the peregrine falcon is the fastest animal on the planet. Absolutely. Good. Right. So when a peregrine falcon goes into a dive, they've been clocked at going over 200 miles an hour. So that's an impressive winner. So I just thought the cheetah was fun too, because he's actually running, not flying. But the peregrine falcon would definitely have his own gold medal in his own category. Let's see. Our next animal is a live one. What animal do you think of? I think of gymnastics. I think of them being very flexible and be able to bend and move in all kinds of different ways. Can everybody think of what animal is really, really, really bendy?
Wall fam says snake, sea doberman, snake. I've got a couple monkeys. They are very flexible.
Yep, you're right. They are.
Haley, Donald, Macy, Rose, Terrence. Oh, so many people. Bryce. Now they're going too fast.
Yeah.
Dolly. Good job. Snake.
Let's see. You reckon? Where are you, buddy? Sometimes it's hard to find a head.
Snake.
There he is.
We've got some octopuses. Also, they are definitely also very flexible. They don't have a backbone.
You're right. Yeah.
I feel like that's cheating a little bit.
Yep.
Right, Elizabeth?
Here we go. Hey, buddy. Oh, I forgot to take my watch off. Sorry, bud. And hi. Let me get him situated. Okay. Oh, I'm tripping on them. All right, coming in. Snake coming at you guys. Our gymnast, our gold medal gymnast. Oh, he's literally coming up. He wants to come say hi. Hey, buddy. Come say hi. Oh, he is a handsome boy, and he's very active. So sometimes he just wants to go where he wants to go. So I'm going to let him kind of chill and settle in.
That's good, because a lot of people, Leslie and Davion, and there was one more, Dolly asked what type of snake, or is that a boa?
Nice job, guys. So he is a pine snake. So he's actually native to North Carolina. He's one of our native snakes here. He's he's the second largest snake we have in northeastern United States. I'm losing my ability to talk. So sorry. So yeah, so he's a pine snake. And so in North Carolina, we would find him living near what kind of trees? He's a pine snake. You would find him living near.
Sea Doberman, pine, yeah.
There you go, pine trees. So we have,
Elizabeth.
so in North Carolina, we have an area we call the Sandhills sections. And it's got a lot of pine trees, or really big old pine trees. And so that's where they like to live, because I couldn't get a good picture of his face. He's resting it on my shoulder. It's kind of cute. Hi, Griffin. So he's got a kind of different, I'm trying to get my angle so you guys can see him better. he's got a little bit different face. So he's got kind of like a stubby nose. You guys can see that. And so he's a good digger. So he actually likes to dig in holes, or dig holes, I should say. And so he uses that nose to kind of help him dig. And a lot of the pine forest, the soil is much softer, so they can dig much easier. So that makes it a lot better. So he's chilling out. Oh, of course you do, because everybody loves snakes. Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, Griffin asked if it was Freckles, and we said this is not Freckles, but Griffin, I am so excited you know who Freckles is.
Oh, that's cool. We love Freckles too. Yeah. Freckles is pretty impressive too. He's a little bit bigger than Griffin.
All right, so the questions that we have, a big one is, does he bite or can he hurt you?
If you wanted to, absolutely. Anything with a mouth and teeth can bite, especially if they feel threatened or scared. And so if you notice well, you probably couldn't see it, but when I was trying to get him out, I couldn't see his head. So that was the first thing I would look for. I looked for the head, and then I kind of gave him I kind of picked him up very gently to let him know, hey, I'm here. And then just to kind of say, hey, it's okay, you're safe. And that way he didn't see me as a threat. So just go slow, we go gentle, and we've worked with him long enough so he knows when it's, we're okay, that we're not gonna hurt him. So he's been our ambassador for a few years now. Look at, he's so cute. Look at him, he's just resting on my shoulder. So he doesn't, if I gave him a reason to, he could potentially hurt me, but I try not to. That's my goal. Oh.
Another question.
Yes.
Sarah Slusher asked if they live near Pinehurst, North Carolina.
You are right. That's the Sandhills. Pinehurst is right in the Sandhills. So they do. You probably won't see them as much because, like I said, they live underground, right? So they like to dig in a hole. So they're not the most visible of snakes, but they are around there, guys. Nice job. Any other questions?
Oh, we have tons of questions.
Oh, goodness. We do have other events, and we have another animal that's very excited to come out and see you. So,
what do they eat?
Good question. So they are carnivores. Fancy science word, which means they eat. See if you guys know. What do they like to eat? Do they eat plants?
Beatrice says meat.
They are meat eaters.
Dino 11021 also meat kids eat.
Yep, absolutely.
Niederheiser. Sorry, like I said, I'm getting these wrong.
Right. They are meat
we also
eaters.
have gotten a bunch of these questions, including M. Davis just asking, is he poisonous or venomous?
He is not venomous, right? I would not be holding him if he was venomous. And he would not be sitting on my shoulder if he was venomous. So he is not venomous. He's a constrictor snake. And so when he finds his food, and he likes to eat small mammals, small animals, birds, bird eggs, actually, even sometimes too. And so he finds them, right? He's got some pretty cool senses. I don't know if he's doing it right now. Is he being rude? Sticking his tongue out? No. He's actually pretty chill. I think I'm a nice, very warm tree for him. So he's getting, oh, there he did. He just stuck it out. So yeah. So he finds his food using his tongue. So he sticks it out, and he's collecting kind of odor particles in the air, and they're sticking to his tongue, and it's forked. So that means if there's a mouse out, those mouse particles are going to come and they're going to collect on this side if that mouse is over here. And so he brings it back into his mouth, and the roof of his mouth, he's got an organ called the Jacobson's organ, and it tells him kind of what's he smelling. So, hey, there's a mouse over there, so I need to go that way. And so he finds his food that way, and he also can kind of sense heat too. And then he grabs it, and he's a constrictor, so he squeezes, but he doesn't crush it. Most people think of constrictors are crushers, but they're not really crushers, they're more suffocators, I guess you could say. So everybody do me a favor, buddy. Everybody take a deep breath in and hold it. Don't let it out. Now take another breath in on that. Okay, hold it. Don't let it out. Take another breath in on that. Hold it. Don't let it out. I'm really bad at holding breath. So that's what a constrictor does. You take a deep breath in and then squeeze. And that way your lungs are small and you can't take as much air in. The next time you take a breath in, and they squeeze some more, and your lungs just keep getting smaller and smaller until you can't take any air in, and you pretty much pass out and suffocate. So that's what a constrictor does. And that's how he eats his food.
Kind of one more question. I mean, we have tons of questions, but
okay, we'll take one more because we got another. I'm very excited to see you guys.
Yeah, a bunch of people were asking, including JD Newkirk.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, there's some more. To Mary. And there were a bunch of other people that asked as well, why does he have the SW Beach Park? Why does he have this coloring that he does?
Oh, I'll let you guys answer that for me. What do you think? Why does he have this black and white coloring? What do you guys think? He lives in the pine forest.
A lot of
on the
people
ground.
say camouflage.
Nice. Absolutely. Camouflage. Absolutely. So when he's in kind of like with the pine forest, there's not a lot of sunlight coming through, so it's a lot darker, but there is some. So there's spots of light and dark on the floor. Spots of light and dark on the snake, right? Pretty smart. Nature's pretty amazing. All right, I'm going to put Griffin away. All right. Thank you, Griffin. You rocked. He's like, he was so nice and cozy.
Oh no. So see how, I'll talk a little bit while she's putting Griffin away. But you see how he got all settled down, and then she went to kind of move him, and he kind of got a little nervous. So snakes don't have eyelids. And they actually, somebody asked if they could hear as well. And no, they cannot hear because they don't have ears. So snakes don't have eyelids or ears, which means he may have been nice and resting and asleep. Sorry, pretty comfortable. Oh, but I do like this question. McKinney kids ask, why do snakes play dead? So since that kind of goes with that, they don't have eyelids. So sometimes they just sit and hang out there, and they're also hoping that you can't see them. But the most dramatic of all snakes is the hognose, because it truly does act like it's dying so that other animals won't eat it.
Not all animals want to eat dead animals. So, all right. Thank you, Griffin. Sorry, I scared him. He made me jump a little bit. I'm like, whoa. He was nice and sweet. We both startled each other. But he's a gorgeous snake. Very cool snake. And he does what he does, the way he protects himself. I don't know if you guys heard that kind of hissing noise that he kind of made. So he just like forcing air out through the glottis he's got in his throat. And so that was that noise. And it's supposed to scare you off, and it works for me sometimes. So yeah. All right. Next group. So we're leaving the winter. We did winter, we did summer, and then I made up my own Special Olympics. I don't have to really get dressed up for this one. So this is the Oddball Olympics, and this is my gold medal-ish, not really gold. If there was an Olympic event in this, I would take top prize. My prize is procrastination. If you guys know what that means, it means that I put everything off to the last minute. Do I have any competitors? Anybody else done the same thing? So that's my Oddball Olympics.
It says yes.
Yes, I knew they were out there. Knowing I was alone. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, cool Jay saying.
All right.
Claire.
So these next Oddball Olympics, I'm going to need you guys to help me out. Let's see if you guys can do it. So this next animal, if there was an Olympic sport in standing on one leg, they would probably win. So I want everybody to kind of stand up, if you can, and stand on one leg and close one eye. That kind of adds. So let's, Beth, you'll show us the picture so I don't look like an idiot for much longer.
Everybody does a good job at saying what it is.
All right. So, all right. So there's a bird. Yeah, somebody probably said flamingo.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. Well, this guy too is a medal winner. So this is the great blue heron, and the flamingos too. They are very good at standing on one leg, and that's kind of how they sleep. That's why I had you close one eye, because they sleep that way, which is pretty cool. So that's how they were able to, I don't know how they rest. So they literally sleep with one eye open. That way they're always aware of what's going on around them, and they're not, perfect, because they're not kind of, going to get attacked by anything, and they stay safe. All right, let's go. Let's see. Oh, this is a fun one. This Olympic event, the fastest tongue. I told you these are oddball events. Who has the fastest tongue?
Beatrice.
Frogs.
Jasmine says Steve.
Good guess.
Griffin, Kiki, Ray kids. We got some chameleon though too. Lizards.
Nice. They're fast.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Aardvarks,
Yeah.
anteaters.
Pretty fast at putting them out.
Dino says toads.
Which animal do you think is fastest though of singing out? Bring it in. Out, in, out, in.
Lizards and snakes. Frogs, iguana,
Oh, yeah.
snake.
Haven't seen it yet, guys.
Lizard. Oh.
Hmm.
What is it? Frogfish.
All right. Let me do. Beth, you want to show them?
Us. Gecko.
Ah. See? All right. Let's see if you guys are as fast as a hummingbird. I'm going to give you guys 10 seconds. And in that 10 seconds, count how many times you can stick your tongue out and in. Okay? As many times as you can in the next 10 seconds. You guys ready? Set, go. Start to count and do it. Okay, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stop. All right. Put in the chat. How many times did you get that? How many times did you get?
Oh, a lot of times. Good
Ooh.
job. Also, Steve did say, sorry, somebody did say hummingbird in the Q&A.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Nice. What do we got?
22, 60. Man, some of you are fast.
Anybody got as fast as a hummingbird?
I lost count.
Somebody said that. I lost count.
I lost
Oh, you lost count. Okay. Season 38. Some of the fast tongues. I don't see anybody that's as fast as a hummingbird yet.
Marla said 80. That's 150. Wallstrom.
Okay. I think they won.
Either
they counted by 10. So 130 times in 10 seconds, or 13 times a second. A hummingbird does it really fast, super fast. And they also have really fast wings too. But
thank you for your honesty, Wallstrom. They said I lied. It was 40.
I had a feeling, because that's pretty impressive. All right, so we're going to our last event, guys. This one is the quietest. What animal is the quietest? Can you see? Can you think? Can you hear me? Which animal is the quietest?
Yeah.
Bunny.
Wendy, who is one of our coworkers, says not me, and we all agree.
Absolutely.
We got butterflies, raccoons, owls, turtles, worms, mouse.
All right. Well, Miss Leslie is going to bring out our friend. So because we have special protocols with our animals and how we don't want to get too close to each other, and we also, because we don't want to contaminate our friends that are taking care of the animals. So Miss Leslie is going to bring our friend out and see if you guys are right. A couple of you were, which is pretty cool.
It's going to take me a second.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. It is the quietest one. And I'll give you a hint. You said owl. You were right, guys. Owls have the quietest feathers ever. Here she comes. Let me get out of the way. We're keeping our 6-foot social distance here. Hi, Miss Tara. Haven't seen her in so long. I'm very excited to see her. So this is Tara. She is a barred owl. So neither of us can actually read the chat or anything right now. So we'll try to get your questions after, or I won't be able to see your responses either. So this is Tara. She is a barred owl. Barred, B-A-R-R-E-D. So that means, so a lot of people think barn owl, but that's different, different kind of owl. So she's a barred owl. So she's probably one of the most common owls we have here in the United States, especially on the eastern United States. Nope. Let food on the ground. And yeah. She's beautiful. And she's super quiet. I'm gonna let
do you want me to go up close?
Yeah, go up close, because I think it's kind of hard to see with the background behind it. And I'm gonna back off. Here she is. Isn't she beautiful? Oh, there's that face. Oh, she's like, there's the microphone.
Yeah. Oh, that scared her a little bit. I won't get too close again.
So there's a big old microphone sticking off the above the camera. That's what she saw. She's like, what is that? So I got her a little nervous. She's like, a little too close. Yeah. Isn't she gorgeous? But that was kind of cool. So she,
oh, Cindy, I'm sorry. Okay, we're gonna stay back. Yeah.
Yeah. She's a little nervous about that. She's had a break from programming for a while. So there we go.
Is that better to see her?
Yeah, a little bit. Here we go. So she is a gorgeous animal. And so she is super quiet. It was probably hard to hear her wings when she flapped a little bit when she's flying. Because owls have very specialized feathers. I'm going to put on the microscope behind. This is, so at the very edge, we call it the leading edge of her wing. She has these really cool, almost like a comb of feathers that stick out. And it's kind of, it's hard to see it. I know you guys can't see it very well. I'm actually going to, well, no, I can't move the camera. Never mind. Freak her out. So there's actually a comb of feathers that kind of stick out right here. So on the leading edge of her wing, so right where she sticks out, that's kind of like this part of her wing, there's almost like feathers that stick out like a comb like that. So when she flaps her wings, it makes no noise. It muffles any air that they have. And she's actually got another comb kind of on the back edge of her wings too. So we can get them under the microscope. So it's kind of fuzzy. And their wings and their feathers actually are velvet. They feel like velvet. They're so soft. And all that helps them to muffle any noise that their wings would make. So they have super, she's just holding food. So they're super soft wings. So when they flap their wings, hi Tara. So when they flap their wings, they make no noise. And there's a really cool video. So after this program, Google, it's a YouTube video, BBC barn owl silent flight or something like that. And it's a cool video. They showed a pigeon and a peregrine falcon and a barn owl. They each flew over a series of microphones just to kind of record how much noise their wings were making. And nothing from that barn owl. It picked up nothing. So super, super quiet. So it was really, really cool to see that. So they are built for silent flight. And for two reasons. So she doesn't want the food to hear her. So that mouse walking around the ground, she doesn't want that mouse to hear her. And also because a lot of times she hunts by using her hearing. They actually have really good hearing, guys. Owls have excellent hearing. And so they'll hunt by using their hearing. And so she wants to be able to hear that mouse walking on the ground. And if her wings were making a lot of noise, she couldn't hear him. So it helps her in two different ways. Makes her be able to sneak up on her food, and then for her to hear her food walking around. Pretty awesome, right? That's a pretty gold medal right there, being the quietest. All right, I'm gonna sneak around while you guys continue looking at Tara. If you guys have any questions, I will see if you have any up there. All right.
I did see somebody asked about her eye, which is kind of one of the questions that we get a lot. So Tara was a bird that was born in the wild, and she was found hurt by somebody, a citizen who was trying to help her, brought her to our animal wildlife rehabilitation center here at the North Carolina Zoo, and they took care of her. Now, when just kind of like how we go to the doctor, when we go, they do just a first workup to see if you're okay or what maybe is looking a little different. Hi. And so when they looked at her eyes, they said, you know what, they don't look really good. So because her eyes weren't good, she can't really hunt very well. And that might have been why she got hurt in the first place, because she couldn't see what was around her. She did have both eyes, and then she's been living here for a really long time. We think she's probably in her early 20s.
She came to the zoo in 2002.
2002, there you go.
Yeah.
So you can do some math to see how long she's been here. Yeah. But so she, because she already had not so great eyesight when she was here, she hurt her eye on something and it started to not heal properly. So the veterinarian said the best thing for her safety would be to take that eye out. So she does not have that eye anymore. And she sometimes has a hard time seeing kind of things as we feed them to her. So sometimes I have to kind of like show her exactly where something is. But yeah, that's why she only has one eye.
Yeah. So they want to know what you're feeding her.
Great question. So we feed her basically stuff that she would eat out in nature. In this case today, it is a mixture of mice and chick. So they are carnivores. They eat a lot of mice. They eat a lot of birds as well. Some owls and hawks are more specific to eating birds. But so because of that, that's also what we feed them here. So mostly mice in there.
Let's see. Oh, there's some good questions. Is there predators for owls?
Yes, there are predators for owls. In fact, the The barred owl, just like Tara, her main predator, other than people, is in cars. It's mostly, when we say people, it's mostly cars. Is the great horned owl. So another owl. Once owls get to be a certain size, they don't have as many predators that are other owls or that aren't people, basically. But technically, barred owls are a little bit of a smaller, medium-sized owl, and so the great horned owl is one of their predators as well.
Okay, let's see if we got all those questions.
Great questions, everybody.
Okay. All right. All right. Should we put Miss Tara away?
Sure. Let me give her one more food. She did such a great job.
Nice, Tara.
And well, real quick thing. One thing that's really cool is that we always say wise is an owl, and owls and birds are somewhat smart animals. She is able to understand when I go into her area that she lives in. I can call her over and she will actually come over to us. And so when I went over to the carrying kennel that took me from one place to the other, I put my hand in and I actually asked her to step up onto my hand. So they may not be the smartest of birds, but they are still pretty smart to be trained. So so she does know her name and she knows kind of a couple of commands though. So we'll say bye, Tara. We'll be very silent. Tara, good job, sweetie.
Give her finger claps. Yay, Tara. We'll give her quiet claps. Yay. And this is I'm just going to show this really quick. So this is
kennel.
Whoop. Give her a minute. I don't want to get too close. She's getting a little nervous. There she goes. Good girl. So, do you guys notice how big Tara's head was? This is actually a barred owl skull. So she's all feathers, which also helps make her quiet if she's covered in feathers. And then, yeah, I don't know if you notice, the skull is mostly eyeballs. Not a huge amount of brain, unfortunately. She's beautiful, but not always the smartest animal. But we love her anyways.
Not as smart as some other birds, but
right. Okay, guys, so we met some pretty talented animals out there. Some really cool animals that would definitely beat us if they were joining the Olympics. So I want you guys, this is your challenge for you guys, to use your talents in however way you can come up with to help animals. And I can give you some examples, but I want you guys to put your thinking caps on because you're home thinking of new ways to entertain yourselves. So this is a great way for you guys to do it. So you want to help animals, you can bird feeders and learn how to identify birds. And then there's these really cool citizen science apps and stuff that you can join. iNaturalist, you can do, Audubon has a lot of cool things that you can actually enter data for them and see what birds are at your feeders. Some really cool things there. If you don't feel like buying a feeder, make one. Plastic bottle, a stick, and a string, and some bird seed. That's all you need. Easy, easy, easy. Just make a hole to put the stick through, a little hole above it, put the seed in, hang it up. Easy as that, guys. Let's see. To help our amphibians, if you have a broken flower pot, you can make a toad abode. Hence the abode, sweet abode. Get it? So you can make a little home for toads in your garden and see who comes in and lives in your toad abode. If you like to build things, and we can actually put, hopefully we can put plans up maybe on the website later on how to make a birdhouse. This is a bluebird house. Or you can make, for Wendy's favorite friend, the bats. You can make a bat house. So this is pretty cool. Now this is the plans we would put up. This would be about half the size because we make these for a program we do at the zoo, and for them to have to carry around this giant, this makes it a little bit easier to do and uses a little less wood too. But can you believe it? Bats actually fit up in there and they can hang out. And this would probably hold about 25 or so bats. The full-size one would probably hold 50 or more. So pretty cool. And we'll put instructions in the best way to colors to paint them, what direction to put them up. So you don't want to cook your bats. So you don't want them to get too much sun and they get too hot in there. So the best way to be able to get bats up in there. So that'll be on the website. So put on your creative thinking podcasts and find and research and lift different ways that you guys can help animals. Use your talents to be able to help all those animals out there because they're pretty awesome. We just met some really amazing ones out there. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining us. Hopefully you'll come back next week. We're doing Eggs to Legs for next Thursday at 1 o'clock. Miss Leslie's gonna be here for that one. So anyways, have a great day and hopefully we'll see you next week. Bye guys.